Welcome into America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates. Securities offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Advisory services offered through the Retirement Guys Formula, registered investment advisor. America's Retirement Headquarters, America's Medicare Associates, and the Retirement Guys Formula are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC.
While the cat's away, the mice will play. That'll make more sense in just a second, but thanks for joining us here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula, America's Medicare Associates, and Retirement Tax Partners. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. It's 419-794-3030. Online, the website, arhq.com. I'm joined today by Scott Kerschner, Troy Kerschner, and Dad Trombley. If you go to arhq.com and you see something there, they are all health and Medicare specialists. And so this week on the show, we're actually going to focus on the America's Medicare Associates portion of America's Retirement Headquarters before we dive into the nuts and bolts of it. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. How you doing?
Oh, Chris, we're doing really, really well. Thank you for that intro. It's nice here in Northwest Ohio. We've had some pretty decent weather over the past couple of weeks. I think spring is full on upon us, and I'm excited about summertime. Troy and I got to go out and hit the links here a week ago, and we're getting into a lot of nice outdoor festivities here in Northwest Ohio.
Is there a grudge match coming up?
Oh, there's always a grudge match. Always a grudge match.
I'll take the next 20.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
You know, there's a point in time where my son is 9. We've talked about this before, where I'm letting him win games. And then there's a point where I realize I'm no longer letting him win and he's just winning on his own. I'm not saying that's what you're experiencing right now, Scott, but I'll be
Chris, I think we actually are experiencing that.
Okay, well, there it is. It's out there. It's out there in the realm there. So, again, You guys are the America's Medicare Associates arm of what Nolan and the entire team do at America's Retirement Headquarters. So we're going to talk about Medicare a good bit this week on the show. And I want to start with, I think, a pretty obvious one here. How do people enroll in Medicare for the first time?
Well, that's a great question, and these are things that we want to make sure that everybody understands. We do a lot of events, so we kind of help people understand all facets of Medicare. The first thing we want to go through, we're going to do a lot of these snippets today on a lot of different topics about Medicare. But first, how do I enroll in Medicare for the first time? Well, first, you actually need to know when your enrollment period is. So there's a couple of things you need to be prepared for. One, you're eligible to enroll in Medicare for the first time when you are turning 65. Okay, so that entails your initial enrollment period. So when you're turning 65, you're eligible to enroll in the first day of the month you turn 65. So it's important to know what the actual enrollment period is for you. So you get a 7-month window. It's actually different if your birth date's on the first day of the month, and it's actually 4 months prior, but usually it's 3 months prior, the month of, and 3 months after your birth month. So the month you turn 65, 3 months prior, the month of, and then 3 months after that birth month. So, for example, if your birthday is February 8th, I'll use mine, February 8th, so I'm eligible for 3 months prior, the month of February, and then 3 months after February to sign up for Medicare. So once you decide that you're ready to sign up for Medicare, then you're going to have to go through and decide on what you're actually signing up for. And you need to kind of educate yourself on what you're actually signing up for. So Medicare comes in parts. You have your Part A for hospitalization, Part B is your medical coverage, and Part D is actually your prescription coverage. This is what you're actually signing up for. Now, a lot of people have heard of Part C. Part C is actually an Advantage plan. Okay, so you don't, that's not part of original Medicare. So original Medicare is what you're signing up for. So there's several different ways to sign up for Medicare. The way we help people sign up for Medicare, and Troy's going to talk about this in our next segment on who can help you sign up for Medicare. But if you are taking Social Security, you will automatically be enrolled in Medicare. automatic. You don't have to do anything. It just happens. Once you enroll, or once you're enrolled in Medicare, then what you're going to do is you're going to come and meet with someone like ourselves to sign up for a plan, and we're going to talk about the plans here shortly as well. You want to make sure that you educate yourself. I had a client in actually this past week, and her birthday was actually August 10th, so her eligible date is August 1st. We actually met I think it was the end of April. So we actually had, the window wasn't open to enroll her, so we actually went through, I took the opportunity to go through and explain to her what original Medicare was, once she gets her Medicare, what the next steps are, and how to actually enroll and get that process taken care of. So, first and foremost, know your eligibility dates. Know when you're eligible to actually enroll. Secondly, go through and make sure you educate yourself on what Medicare actually covers, the basics of original Medicare. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like alphabet soup, right?
Right.
And then once you understand what the parts are of Medicare, and then you get your approval, then it's time to actually sign up and enroll in a plan, which is where we come into play. Troy, Dan, do you guys have anything more to add to how to enroll in Medicare for the first time?
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Not more clarification, but a question. You said they're enrolling in Medicare. What parts? You said alphabet soup. So
Yeah.
Are they enrolling in Part A, B, and D? Or is it just A and B?
That's a great question. So the parts are A for hospital. So when this is original Medicare, okay? This isn't anything to do with any of the Advantage plans or the Medigap plans, which I know, Dan, you're going to talk about here shortly. This is original Medicare. Part A is hospitalization. That is typically free when you sign up. And then Part B is your medical services, and that's your physician fees and durable medical equipment. This is going to be your x-rays, your CTs, MRIs, things like that. That is Part B. That does come with a monthly premium. And then you're also going to need to enroll in Part D, which is the prescription drug portion of original Medicare. So first and foremost, when you're ready to sign up for Medicare, turning 65, if you're not taking Social Security, you have to enroll in Medicare. And that's actually enrolling in original Medicare, Part A, Part B, and then signing up for some plans that'll give you the Part D prescription drug coverage.
So it can be a complicated thing. And let's talk about this really quick because the question here is, how do I enroll in Medicare for the first time? Are there subsequent times that people would enroll, or is it just when the opportunity arises here?
Well, actually, and that's a great question. It's you want to make sure that you're enrolling in your initial enrollment period, which is when you first turn 65. If for some reason you decide to not enroll because you have credible coverage, maybe through your spouse's employer or your employer, then you can postpone that enrollment. So the initial first time enrolling is when you're turning 65. Now, there is one other caveat to that. If you are disabled and you qualify for disability for 24 consecutive months, then you are also eligible prior to 65 to enroll in Medicare. Believe it or not, it's unfortunate, but I do have a 33-year-old young lady that is actually on Medicare. And the reason why she's on Medicare at 33 years old is because she's disabled and meets the requirements to sign up prior to turning 65. So it's really, Chris, what we're looking at and talking about is turning 65, you're eligible to sign up for Medicare for the very first time. That is what's called your IEP, your initial enrollment period.
So to find out more about this and find out the right time to do it, because if you don't enroll and you're eligible and you don't have coverage, there are penalties. We'll get into that a little later on. But reach out to the team at America's Medicare Associates. The number is 419-794-3030. That's how you get in touch with America's Retirement Headquarters, and then they'll send you on your way. It's 419-794-3030 or the website, arhq.com. So we know the hows of how people can enroll in Medicare for the first time, but let's go through the letters here. Who can help people when it comes to signing up for Medicare?
Well, Chris, that's another great question, and I'm going to throw this to Troy and let him help out. He's, one of the things before we get into that, we've got Troy and Dan here on the panel with us this on the radio today, and when we do our events, they're all part of the events that we do. Dan's a presenter, I'm a presenter. Troy's he's presented an event or two as himself. So all of us are licensed and contracted to help people enroll and educate them on Medicare. So Troy, why don't you go through some of the steps that how people can or who they can go to actually get signed up for Medicare?
Yeah, so there's actually a couple of different ways you can sign up for Medicare. One of the ways is you go to the Social Security Administration office and you sit down with somebody there and they'll be able to help you. You used to be able to do it over the phone. However, with the new administration coming to the office, you can no longer do that. And another way to do it is to do it through your Social Security account online. And one of the ways that we can help you here is we can absolutely take care of all of that for you as far as signing you up for Medicare through your Social Security account online. It's a semi-difficult process. However, we know ways to make it easier for you. So when you come into the office, we'll sign you up for the account. And then once you get confirmation that you're signed up for Part A and B, later then we'll bring you in, go through some plan options, and just move forward with there. So there's a benefit with working with us. And then eventually down the line, once you're on that plan for a while, we'll go through the new plan changes the next year and then see if there's any other better plans out there for you. So
are there any fees involved in what you offer and how we handle this?
Absolutely not. No. Anytime you come into the office or come see us here, you'll never have to pay a fee. Another benefit with working with us is we also do help with retirement income planning and any other tax impact. So, Dad, you're pretty perfect with that. As for some reason, you have been doing this for 30 years, and you know all of the ins and outs.
You're date aging me here, son. Yes. So like Troy was saying, there's a couple of ways. One, signing up through the Social Security Administration office. Like he mentioned, that's a procedure that has changed. Like he mentioned, with the new administration, basically what they've done is they've eliminated the phone interview, the phone calls. As you all know, Trump wants everybody to be back in the office. He doesn't want people working from home anymore. So what they've done is they've taken away signing up for Medicare over the phone. You either have to contact Social Security Administration office and actually they will schedule you an appointment. I don't know if any of you have actually dealt with Social Security Administration. That's typically not the most pleasant experience.
They mean well.
They mean well, they do, and they're there to help. Right. Sometimes it's a little more frustrating than it is helpful, but that is one way to sign up is through Social Security Administration. One thing Troy failed to mention is if you're taking Social Security, remember you're automatically enrolled in Medicare, so you don't have to contact Social Security Administration office. If you have an advisor that you currently work with and you like that advisor, they should be able to help you. As Troy mentioned, one of the many services that we actually offer is and this is all with no fees. We never charge a sit-down fee. But if you haven't created a My Social Security account, Troy, Dan, or myself, we actually can do that with you sitting here in our office. Once you're in and created that account, then we would actually do the application with you sitting in our office. We have a big screen TV that we, put the information up so it's easy for all of us to see. And then the other thing is, coming to us and helping us put that on us. Let us help you and make these decisions for you as far as signing up and making sure we answer all the questions. We dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure we get everything done appropriately for you. Those are, the two ways, the Social Security Administration, or you go through an advisor like us, America's Medicare Associates. We're happy to help. Dan, you've been doing this a long time as well. Anything you can add to that over your experience?
Yeah, so I'm a guy who likes to hold some proof that I did something, right? I want to print out that I show I enrolled in a Social Security account. When we do that here, I've seen Troy do this many times. We'll actually print out the application for Medicare.
Sure.
We'll print that out, give it to you so you have something tangible in your hands when you're buying an intangible product. So we also have a copy of everything scanned into the person's file. In case they lose that, we can also replicate that for them. Just another layer of security for our clients.
That's a great point. One of the big reasons why we actually save these copies of the applications we submit on your behalf is if for some reason you don't get your Medicare card in a timely fashion, we reach out to Social Security Administration to find out, hey, what's going on. There have been situations where they say, oh, we never received it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We've got a copy of it right here. You can see everything and the dates and the times that are stamped on it when it was actually submitted. So
I'm actually dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
We were able to reach out to Social Security Administration this morning, and they said, we don't have it. I see that you're saying you faxed it. I've got the confirmation. So we're faxing it again and just making sure. And this is a May 1st effective date. So having somebody fighting for you in your corner always helps a little bit.
Troy, one thing I'd like maybe if you could touch on a little bit. So let's say that somebody already has Part A. All they need is Part B. Is it a different process that we go through? They don't have to actually go in and sign up for Part A. They've already got that. How do we handle that, and what do we do on behalf of the client?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what Dan was mentioning. It's called a 40B form, and we just fill that out for you, just like we do with all of our other documents. We fax that into Social Security Administration, and then within a few weeks, you'll be signed up for Part B, and then that's when we're ready to pick a plan for you. So if you already do have Part A, signing up for Part B is just as easy.
So, Troy, and I know that we have a lot of different forms. Does our client need to bring a form with them if they're just signing up for Part B and already have A?
No, we can absolutely provide that 40B form for them.
Perfect. Well, thanks, guys. I think that's who can help signing up for Medicare. We're definitely the people that are here for you, or you can actually go to your local Social Security Administration office and do that as well.
There are two options there, and not to beat up on them, the Social Security office not necessarily known for their expedience. So if you have questions on how to help with signing up for Medicare and you're watching on YouTube, well, you're looking at them. If you're listening right now on WSPD, you're listening to them, not me, but them. Reach out, set up a time to speak with them, 419-794-3030, or go to arhq.com. Scott mentioned the events, the workshops that they do. You can see a full list of events and attend one if you feel so inclined. Just click on the events tab at arhq.com. Here on the show, we often talk about the alphabet soup when it comes to retirement, your 401ks, your 403bs, your TSPs. It's the same sort of thing when it comes to Medicare, because you guys have rallied off a couple of letters here. What is the difference between Medicare's Part A, B, C, and D?
Well, our wonderful government does everything they possibly can to confuse the heck out of us, right? So original Medicare has parts. I'm going to just throw this in real quick. If you were to purchase a Medigap plan, it has plans. And yes, those plans are A, B, C, D. They're just very, very similar, so it can be very, very confusing. I want to take just a quick minute here and go through and explain what the differences are between Parts A, Part B, Part C, and Part D, as in David. So Part A, this is original Medicare now, okay? Part A is truly hospital coverage. No frills, bells, whistles. It is truly just simply hospitalization coverage. So, for example, if you go into the hospital, you're going to file a claim under original Medicare Part A. So there are coverages that Medicare covers automatically. If you're in the hospital for up to 60 days, there's some co-pays that you would pay. It's actually like a deductible that you'll pay. $1,636 for the initial first 60 days in the hospital. So part of the benefits that you're going to get under Part A is inpatient hospital care, skilled nursing coverage. So if you happen to go into the hospital and you're in the hospital for an extended period of time, once you leave that hospital, you may not be strong enough to go home, care for yourself if you happen to be alone, or a loved one with you may have difficulty caring for you. You could go to what's called a skilled nursing facility to get rehab and to build up your strength to get you back home. Another benefit covered under original Medicare Part A hospital is hospice care. There is some hospice care that is included. And then there is also some home health care that is also part of the Medicare Part A hospital. This is where you would file a claim for those type of coverages. Keep in mind, if you have Part A typically is zero. You pay no premium for Part A. It is free if you have worked 40 credit quarters and you qualify for free Part A. Part B is your medical services. You know, if you're in the hospital, you have a doctor peek his head in the door. He says, yep, you're in there. And then you get a $2,500 bill for a 30-second consultation. Yes, that does happen. That is actually covered under Part B, the medical services. So medical services would include doctor visits, outpatient x-rays, lab work, surgeries, MRIs, CT scans, durable medical equipment, like a CPAP machine or an oxygen tank or crutches or things of that nature that are durable medical equipment is also covered under your Part B medical services. And then you're also going to have some mental health care. That is going to be filed, if you file a claim, that will be filed under Medicare Part B. Now, Part B does come with a monthly premium. The average income earner is going to pay a premium of $185 a month. If you're taking Social Security, that comes right out of that Social Security check. You won't even know it's gone. Well, some people do, but for the most part, you won't even know it's gone. Medicare Part B does come with a $257 deductible, so you will pay that first. After that deductible, then you are you're on the hook for 20%. It is an 80-20 plan. Many of you may have heard from friends, fans, people that are already on Medicare, relatives, whoever. They may say, "Well, Medicare is an 80-20 plan." That is true. Part B is a 80-20 plan. You are responsible for 20% of the Part B portion only. And then we have, I'm going to skip C. I do know the alphabet. I know a lot of people may think I don't, but I do know the alphabet. I'm going to jump to Medicare Part D. Part D is your actual prescription drug coverage. So this only covers your prescription drugs. Nothing else. You do have to purchase what's called a prescription drug plan or a PDP. Well, I'll tell you in a second about Part C, but if you buy a Medigap plan, then you must also purchase a Medicare prescription drug plan. That is a standalone drug plan. The important thing is, if you don't purchase a drug plan, you could be subject to a lifetime penalty. That penalty is calculated on a 1% of the national average times every month you did not sign up for a prescription drug plan when you should have.
But Scott, what if I don't even take medications?
Well, that's a very common question, and one of the things I tell my clients is I'm not going to let you leave here. I say it kind of sternly, but I don't really mean it that way. But I'm not going to let you leave the office without signing up for a drug card. There are plans out there that are literally zero premium, right? If you don't sign up, I do have a couple of clients that are, I've got one lady that's 79 years old. She's never had a drug card.
And you said there's a penalty for that.
There's a penalty. It's a 1% of the national average, which is a little over $46 now. It's up. It was $32 last year, but it's $46. So it's 46 cents times every month that you did not sign up for a drug card. And the bad thing is that stays with you for life. That doesn't go away. You can't pay the penalty and say, okay, I'm caught up. It's for life. So that is your prescription drug. Now we're going to go back to Part C. So Part C is actually the Advantage plans. So if you sign up for an Advantage plan, it includes Part A hospital, Part B medical, and Part D prescription drugs. It's all included in one plan. So the Medicare Advantage plans gives you that comprehensive coverage for hospital, for medical, and for prescriptions. Typically, there is zero premium to most of these plans. There are plans out there with low premiums. And what happens with Part C, the Advantage plans, is it basically takes the place of Medicare. It becomes your primary care coverage. So it includes a lot of bells and whistles as well. For example, you can get over-the-counter items, gym memberships. It's got dental, vision, hearing, all included in one plan. So that's Part A hospital and original Medicare, Part B medical for original Medicare, Part D prescription for original Medicare, and then Part C is all encompassing A, B, and D. So that's kind of the quick version of the alphabet soup of Medicare, Parts A, B, C, and D. And if you want to know more about any of these, please reach out to us. Let us know. We'd be happy to help you.
If only there was some sort of combo letter that made more sense to with A, B, and D combined.
Right.
But to make sense of this, again, A, B, C, D, what you properly need, here's 4 letters that you should keep in mind. That's arhq.com. That's what takes you to the website. Set up a time to speak with Troy, with Dan, with Scott, answer all the Medicare questions you may have. Again, arhq.com, or give a call, 419-794-3030. Now, we've kind of danced around this topic here on the show so far, and I want to take a deeper dive into it. We've also kind of answered it, but taking a deeper dive here, does Medicare cover nursing homes and long-term care?
Well, no. The simple answer to that is no, it does not cover nursing homes or long-term care. Well, it does cover nursing homes, but it does not cover long-term care. It truly covers skilled nursing for rehab. And remember, Medicare, original Medicare, Part A is where your skilled nursing benefits are going to come into play. And you've only got coverage up to 100 days. So any of you listening that have parents that are older seniors, like my mom, I've talked about her a lot on the radio. Mom's 87. She's doing fantastic. She is not in a skilled nursing facility. She is not in a nursing home. She's actually, we relocated her to a condo right down the street from us, so it's really convenient. But she's self-sufficient, so she doesn't really need to do a whole lot of, or she doesn't really need a lot of care from skilled nursing. But here's the issue that comes into play. If you get to a point in your life where you're not able to take care of yourself, and you may or may not have someone, whether it's a spouse or a loved one, that's able to come in and help and take care of you, you may have a situation where you're going to need to go into a long-term care facility. There is original Medicare on a supplemental plan or on an Advantage plan that's going to cover long-term care facilities. However, we do have plans that we actually write. They are truly long-term care plans. They are designed for long-term care benefits. So if you're needing care beyond 100 days, so 101 or more, you definitely need to consider looking into a long-term care plan. The old traditional long-term care policies are a thing of the past. There are new benefits out there. There are hybrid policies that will actually give you income riders, long-term care riders, life insurance benefits, and there are even plans out there that if you decided that you didn't want this plan anymore, you can get 100% of your money back. So if you're thinking about the old long-term care, traditional long-term care where you're paying $3,000 a year, the average stay in a long-term care facility is anywhere from 1 to 3 years. The person typically may pass away. All of that money you've paid for all of those years is kind of forfeited back to the company. those are a thing of the past. The nice plans today have it's got a life insurance benefit to where if you use, say you have a $300,000 policy, you use $100,000 of benefits, you pass away, your beneficiary gets $200,000 of life insurance. Far better plans today than they've ever had in the past. But, the simple answer to, does Medicare cover nursing home? The answer to that is absolutely not. It does not cover nursing homes. Troy, since you're sitting here on the panel with us here, if I get to a situation where I need long-term care, you going to let me move in with you?
Knew that question was coming.
I mean, I'd prefer not.
You would prefer not. Well, that's the burden that's actually placed on a lot of caregivers, and it can destroy families. With the caregiving and all of the needs that are necessary. I won't go some of the places I was going to go with that, but If I need something, I better buy me a long-term care plan, because I can tell right now I'm not going to have I'm not going to have any place to go at Troy's house.
Troy, I want to commend you on that. That was a pretty diplomatic answer, all things considered. I would prefer not. It wasn't a direct no, but it was, I'd rather not.
He knew what it meant.
Yeah. It
was a hard no.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, this is one of those things you want to take in consideration, because if you don't account for it, or if you don't account for the fact that your Medicare could cost more because of IRMA, like we talked about earlier, that's going to be a surprise. These are all things that can really deplete a retirement account, jeopardize a retirement in general, if not for you, then for your loved ones. So making sure, as we said here, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, especially when it comes to Medicare. That is where the team, obviously, at America's Medicare Associates comes into play. So find out more, set up a time to speak with them, find out about the events that they have going on. It's all there at the website. That is arhq.com. Or you can give a call, set up a time that way as well, 419-794-3030. It's 419-794-3030. As always, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on America's Retirement Headquarters. It is the home of the Retirement Guys Formula, America's Medicare Associates, and Retirement Tax Partners. Please have a great week ahead of you. Gentlemen, appreciate the time. And as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with the final word.
Well, thank you, Chris. I think we had a wonderful show. I want to thank Dan and Troy for joining me on the show today. And remember, if you're in need of any Medicare, if you're in need of any health benefits whatsoever, or any retirement benefits, look us up at ARHQ. Thank you for joining us on Toledo's #1 talk radio show, 1370.
America's Retirement Headquarters is located at 1700 Woodlands Drive in Maumee, Ohio. You can reach them by calling 419-794-3030 or online at americasretirementheadquarters.com. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Nolan Baker is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstance. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Nolan Baker, Ohio Insurance License Number 27787.